On Newswatch 27, a weary day as relief crews begin the unending task of recovering from the death and destruction left in the wake of yesterday's killer tornadoes. Details next as Newswatch 27 continues.
Every day is Father's Day at Hills. Dad usually has a place just for him. And Hills has brand name values just for Dad. Like Lee Ryder jeans. You could pay more elsewhere. At Hills, $15.97 every day. And with a $3 instant rebate, Lee Ryders are just $12.97. Because every day is Father's Day at Hills.
But you can depend, like on Hills, to keep the prices low all the time.
It's National Frigidaire Week now.
The only time this year
We've got hot deals to save cold catch on refrigerators,
ranges
washers,
and dryers.
savings just keep going higher.
Save big as prices fall.
Save on them all during National Frigidaire Week now. You can really clean up.
Now at Macron's Furniture and Appliance, Boardman and Haney's Furniture, Newcastle.
The Newswatch continues with Tom Holden.
Good evening. It has been a day like none other in the Newswatch area. Families have been trying to determine the fate of loved ones while trying to recover a sense of normalcy from the disaster which rocked the valley, causing death and undetermined damage. Much of the attention has focused on damage in Trumbull and Mercer counties, but areas of Columbiana County were also hard hit. John Dyke of Fairfield School Road in Columbiana Village was out with his 35mm camera last night as the tornado touched down. These pictures were taken on the south edge of Columbiana. You can see the funnel cloud forming and beginning to touch ground. Liz Lane is in Columbiana County with a live minicam for a report on the cleanup there. Liz?
Tom, what you're seeing right now is what's left of C&K Petroleum, which is along Route 7 here in Columbiana County. The owners are spending the entire night here making sure that nobody takes any of their material out here. And we now have totals of what went on down here last night during the tornadoes as they started to hit Columbiana County. This information comes from the Red Cross. 51 families were left homeless, 7 injured, no deaths though, thank goodness, here in Columbiana County. Most of the damage was in the New Waterford area, Middleton, where we are right now, and parts of East Palestine and Latonia. Most of the 51 families went to friends and relatives, so they have no real shelter here, but a lot of clothes and food are being taken to the Red Cross area, especially in Salem, where they are headquarters right now. The helping hand has hit Columbiana County.
My fiance and I, we just seen everything that's happening on the TV, we just decided to get everything together and, try to help out as best we can.
Jim Fagerty was just one of many people bringing clothes and food to the Red Cross headquarters in Salem. Tomorrow, a shelter will be set up starting at 7:30 in the morning at the New Waterford Fire Hall, where these bags of clothes and food will be distributed to the homeless. According to Janine Taylor of the Red Cross, today people were sifting through the rubble trying to save any of their belongings.
There were numerous people down there today. When something like this happens, all kinds of people show up. People are so good, and it's coming along, but it's going to take a long time. It really is.
Taylor also said that the Red Cross will remain open around the clock for anyone needing shelter, food, or medical attention. Tom, Taylor also said that most of the power in Columbiana County is on. The possibility of phones, that is still up in the air. And once again, I want to make that statement. It is 7:30 tomorrow morning if you need any food or clothing at the New Waterford Fire Hall. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Liz. The American Red Cross says relief response from the Mahoning Valley community has been overwhelming. Individuals, families, and organizations have pitched in to help the storm victims, as one Youngstown group did tonight. Bonnie James reports.
It came from a group used to saving people's lives. Youngstown firefighters from Local 312 took truckloads of relief packages to the main Red Cross shelter in Trumbull County.
We have food, non-perishable food, clothes, appliances, toys. It's unbelievable.
Donated time and donated trucks made it possible to transport these goods to the Niles McKinley High School. Stacking what they could and leaving the sorting for later, Red Cross volunteers readied the area for overnighters coming in before the 9 o'clock curfew.
We do have clothing, we do have food, we do have diapers. This has been one item that's been requested, by some people.
Trish says she also has medical supplies for minor injuries. Firefighters will be collecting another shipment for tomorrow's delivery, again at 7:30 p.m. Red Cross volunteers ask donors to restrict items to non-perishable foods and infants and children's clothing. Bonnie James for Newswatch 27.
As dusk began to fall on Trumbull County this evening, motorists and pedestrians in the city of Niles headed for their homes. Local law enforcement agencies and the National Guard prepared to enforce the 9 o'clock curfew.
What our people will be doing is blocking certain areas off, and in turn, any problems that they might entail will be directed toward the civil authorities.
Military police were posted at wooded areas and the cemetery along Vienna Road. They hope to prevent looting and vandalism that had been occurring in the nighttime hours. Some good news for Niles residents left without electricity for more than 24 hours as a result of the tornadoes. As Mona Alexander tells us in this live report, power is slowly being restored to the devastated areas.
Tom, we're here at the main electrical substation for the city of Niles. At about 8:30 this evening, Ohio Edison restored power to the substation, and now the city of Niles is in the process of slowly turning on the circuits to restore power to the community. With me is Mr. Bill Burgess, who is the superintendent of the city light department. Mr. Burgess, I understand you now have 3 of the 4 main circuits on. Where's that power going?
We have the downtown circuits on, the south side, the west side, 422, the Great East, most of the Eastwood Mall, and the North Road area to the east of 422.
What about that last circuit? When will that be on, and where will the power go then?
The power be on in the next half hour, and that would turn on the 46 area, both east and west, and that's about all it would turn on.
Now, once you have all 4 circuits on, will power be 100% on, or will there be some isolated areas without power?
There's some areas that had too much damage to get them repaired today, so they've been isolated.
And you think that you may have power on there when?
Probably by tomorrow night we'll have 90% of the power on.
And after that, it'll be, a day or so after that before it's up to full power?
Yes.
I understand that the tornado came very close to the substation. It could have taken the substation itself out.
It was headed directly for the substation. It even took poles out in front of the substation, but just as it got in front of it, it veered off and missed.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Bill Burgess, who is the superintendent of the Niles Light Department. So most of the service, about 90%, as Mr. Burgess said, should be back by sometime tomorrow. He's been working 24 hours since this happened, and as I said, most of the power should be on in Niles sometime tomorrow as the crews continue working. Tom?
Thank you, Mona. Efforts to determine the status of loved ones has been hampered by the absence of phone service. Crews have now managed to restore local service to exchanges in Windham, Lake Milton, Newton Falls, and Wayland. That is for local calls only. Ohio Bell hopes to have 100 damaged poles replaced in Niles by tomorrow night and will then begin stringing miles of cables. Phone service has been restored to scattered areas of Sharon and Keel Ridge Road. The wrath of the twisters was felt by many in western Pennsylvania as well. Bridget Mahoney describes the death and destruction left in the tornado's path in Beaver County.
In western Pennsylvania, the tornado ripped a path from the Big Beaver shopping plaza near Beaver Falls, down the valley behind the plaza, then over this mountain to North Sewickley, leveling homes, businesses, and killing at least 3 people. The search for bodies continues at the Jamesway Center, but authorities are hopeful that none will be found. When the storm struck, Beaver County's emergency management agency went to work. A network of 79 amateur radio operators provided the much-needed communication between residents and safety forces.
We can provide contact from missing family members and for the various emergency agencies back to the Emergency Coordination Center in Beaver County.
At the plaza, Rick Rombolt tried to salvage pieces of his successful business. He started the woodwork store 5 years ago with his brothers when they were jobless. Today, he finds himself out of work again.
What does this mean to you and your brothers?
That means we're all out of work, and I don't know what we're going to do now. Whether we might have to move away from this area, the way everything's bad mill-wise around here and everything. This is the only place 3 of us worked. 2 of us are laid off from other mills, and we come down here 5 years ago to start working. So I don't know what we're going to do now.
While most victims are digging through the rubble, the Hummels of North Sewickley have yet to learn of the devastation. They're on vacation in the Midwest, but when they do hear about it, it'll hit hard. Not only was their home torn apart, 2 businesses they own, a gas station and a grocery store, were leveled as well. Their daughter, Gwen Nash, hopes her elderly parents will take a philosophical view of the loss.
I was always very scared of wind. Fire and other things didn't really, bother him that much. But whenever it was wind, then we always took to the cellar. And he figured that there wasn't anything you could do about that. It just happened, and so, that's the way it was.
Are you glad you think they're better off that they weren't here?
We're much better off. My 2 brothers were here today, and then a lot of our friends, and we grew up here in the house, and we found pictures, and we found things. They got married in San Francisco. We found a box of memoirs and all of this, and it just would have been terrible on them. It's going to be bad enough coming back, but my sister said when they call, she's going to tell them we have good news and bad news. The good news is we moved you out. And the bad news is you have to figure out where to put the stuff.
For Newswatch 27, I'm Bridget Mahoney.
The twister left only part of one house and part of the small community church standing in Atlantic in Crawford County. State police say a trailer court was destroyed with at least 5 people dead. In nearby Cochranton, another 3 lives were claimed, with 1 dead in Linesville as well. And just to the north of there, another small Pennsylvania town was virtually wiped out. David Dow reports.
Albion's gone. Teenager Julie Moyer said it all. The little town of Albion was the hardest hit in Pennsylvania. The tornado that touched down here was so powerful, it flattened more than 100 homes, left 12 dead, many injured, and over 100 displaced. The twister struck with little warning. Jim Tickner had to exceed the speed limit to stay alive.
It was a roaring sound. It followed us for approximately 3 miles. I was running probably 85 miles an hour to stay ahead of it.
I've never seen anything this devastating. Everybody's saying it sounded like a train, but it was never a sound I heard before.
Yesterday evening, Debbie Gould, her husband, and 2 children were in their house eating dinner. Today, they are counting their blessings.
We were up in the kitchen, and we heard on the scanner that there was a tornado coming through Albion. So we ran to the basement, and as soon as we got there, it hit. We just made it down.
Meanwhile, the local high school is being used as a temporary shelter for the homeless, and donations of food and clothing are coming in. One resident said he moved here to get away from tornadoes. They're not supposed to happen here, he said. Harold Dow, CBS News, Albion, Pennsylvania.
Residents in at least 8 western Pennsylvania communities affected by the destruction are being advised to boil their drinking water for at least 5 minutes. In Mercer County, Jamestown is advised of the water problem. In Venango County, Cooperstown, Cherry Tree, Dempseytown, and the Lake Stream Mobile Home Park. And in Crawford County, Atlantic, Linesville, and Woodcock Reservoir are all affected by that water advisory. A brave Texan thumbed his nose at Mother Nature during the height of last night's tornadoes, lived to tell about it, and provided us with dramatic pictures of a killer tornado that moved through the Hermitage area. Ronald Alfredo of Houston, who was visiting relatives here, broke out his home video recorder just in time. Look and listen as he orders his family into the cellar.
See those papers flung? That is a tornado. Look at all the papers over there. There. That's a tornado. Yeah, leaves. Get downstairs.
Watch as it intensifies now and moves forward. You'll begin to see debris being thrown through the air. We later learned that from best speculation over in that part of western Pennsylvania, that what you're seeing being thrown through the air are bits and pieces of a roofing section of the Cyclops plant that was leveled by the tornadoes in western Pennsylvania. And now watch the tree line as it darkens and moves in closer, and Ron Alfredo shoots about all he cares to, and then himself heads for safety. Ron and his family, by the way, all survived that tornado. Despite severe damage to at least 100 homes, Hubbard Township suffered only one fatality as a result of a tornado there. And as Alan Ross reports, the survivors are grateful.
The twister's path of destruction through Hubbard Township began at the Warner Road and ripped eastward here through Coburg Center, leveling or causing damage to scores of homes along the way. It then touched down in Kermont Heights, where police say at least 50 houses in the development were hit. Save for their patio and their surrounding pines, Ray and Eli Bosdog's home was spared nature's fury.
I have 2 aunts that live in Warren, and I just want to let them know that we're just fine. We're a little shaken, but our homes are intact.
Others here on White Oak Drive weren't so lucky. Roofs blown off some, walls caved in on others. Like in The Wizard of Oz, this house was spun off its foundation, landing some 15 yards away. Fortunately, the Fedorchik family wasn't home for the ride. Like most of the residents on this and other streets in the area, Joseph Trolio spent much of today cleaning up. But last night, he and his wife made it to their cellar just in time.
The roof just took off and put the light into the cellarway, and I got it down the steps, and we got behind the steps. The minute we hit there, it was over. A couple of seconds it took.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Oh, okay. I've never seen anything like this in my life. 60-some years. I've seen tidal waves and typhoons over in the South Pacific. Nothing like this. Nothing.
Early this evening, the National Guard was notifying residents of the impending 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. curfew, a move here, as in other areas, to protect against the possibility of looting. An Ohio State Highway Patrolman told us there had been reports of such incidents occurring here last night. With destruction and debris almost as far as the eye could see, residents in this section of Hubbard Township were counting their blessings. No serious injuries were reported in Kermont Heights.
The house you can replace, but our lives are more important. And I'm thankful to God that we survived.
For Newswatch 27, I'm Alan Ross.
One of the many communities hit hard by the tornadoes was Wheatland, Pennsylvania. There, the vicious weather claimed 6 lives. Chris Jadek has more on that.
The first day of June 1985 in Wheatland was a beautiful one. Who would have imagined the last day of May could be so horrible? Tornadoes struck with fury this small Pennsylvania borough. They ripped apart the industrial base. Totally destroyed were the Sawhill Cyclops operation, M&J Trucking, Yarga Trucking, McDonald, the subsidiary of Wheatland Tube, Valley Radiator, Steel Trucking, Sharon Metal Fence, and B&D Trucking. Mayor Helen Doobie says the destruction totals 98% of the community's industry. That equals about 500 jobs. As for the people, they spent the day cleaning up what was left. Between 40 and 50 homes are said to be completely destroyed. But while the homes are gone, the memories of what changed the lives of so many here will never leave.
They went to the door and it says, a tornado's coming, a tornado's coming. And right there my boss called. And I yelled to everybody to get to the doorway, but everybody panicked. They all scattered. Okay, so my girlfriend and I, we were both bartending. I got her in the doorway and the phone rang. It was my boss and he said, what's going on? I said, the tornado's coming. Just then, everything started knocking us on the floor. I still had the phone in my hand. I'm yelling, help me, help me. Everything was like, it would fall down and hit us. We were like huddled on the floor. It would fall down and hit us, pick us up, and like the wind was going to take us, and then the beer cooler fell down on us, and I didn't know where anybody else was. And it just, everything was flying. A tree flew by, and when I got up, we like got out. There was the stuff all over us, and I had to dig her out because there was mud and dirt all the way up and mud in our mouth.
I couldn't find the hotel. I kept screaming for her. Start picking up the rubble. And somebody told me she got out alive. I don't see how.
I don't believe anybody. I don't believe as many people lived as what did.
Do you think this community can ever rebuild to where it used to be?
Oh, definitely. Wheatland's a fighting town. They'll come back.
For Newswatch 27, I'm Chris Jadek.
Governor Dick Thornburg toured the state of Pennsylvania today, assessing the damage there. The governor made a late afternoon stop in Wheatland, as Mona Alexander tells us in this report.
Governor Thornburg
Thornburg declared 10 Pennsylvania counties disaster areas and arrived in Wheatland with the promise of both state and federal aid for the stricken areas. Thornburg toured Wheatland's devastation with Mayor Helen Doobie and concluded financial assistance to replace the community's bricks and mortar would not erase Wheatland's more tragic losses.
There's no way any repair or emergency declaration or any efforts can bring back the lives of men, women, and children who were snuffed out in this tragic event.
The governor heard Reverend Anderson Tatum describe the loss of the Valley Baptist Church. Sunday services are still scheduled for tomorrow. Ebert Pickens told the governor he was one of the lucky ones. He dived into the cellar of his home as the tornado hit.
Is this your home?
Yeah, it was.
My gosh.
Where were you when the twisted? In that hole there, right? It was for you.
As the state and federal governments assess damages, Wheatland's residents are still trying to reduce the shock of yesterday's tornado blitz. A 7 o'clock curfew has been imposed here. The power is still out, and there is the fear of widespread looting. But for residents of Wheatland, that concern poses a far less serious threat than the prospect of rebuilding their lives. Mona Alexander for Newswatch 27.
The official death count in the wake of last night's tornadoes has now climbed to at least 86, 22 in our immediate area. Hundreds more injured, hundreds more homeless, damage listed in the tens of millions of dollars. Here is a list of the victims released by area hospitals. 67-year-old Emma Yanucci of Niles, 54-year-old Marie Sofenic of Lordstown, 27-year-old Linda McMahon of Austintown, 39-year-old Elena Taliano of Youngstown, 72-year-old Gladys Jackson of Wheatland, 36-year-old Michael Kirby of Sharon, 75-year-old Rosemary Leone of Masery, 36-year-old Stanley Kotska, and 6-year-old Adam Lafferty, both of Farrell, and 31-year-old Robert Reynolds of Wheatland. 82-year-old Helen Thomas of Niles, 70-year-old Evan Evans of Hubbard, 81-year-old Frank and Wanda Talbot of Atlantic, Pennsylvania, and a woman who was visiting them from Fort Worth, Texas, 21-year-old Darla Rigby. The Rigby woman's husband was injured in the tornado but was treated and released from an area hospital. 77 or 78-year-old Andrew Byler of Atlantic and 23-year-old Cindy Godwin of Atlantic all died in last night's tornadoes. No age available on Mary Eagley of Albion. She perished as well. And we have 3 other names that were just handed to us, 3 other victims of the tornadoes of last night. 87-year-old Ernest Miller and his 79-year-old wife, Anna Miller, both of Niles, and 21-year-old Denise Mazza of Girard. All perished in last night's tornadoes. We will take a look at the rest of the day's events throughout the world when Newswatch 27 continues.
Toothpaste, shampoo, vitamins. Announcing one more reason why you'll save up to 50% on everything. It's the newest Farmore store at 3491 Belmont Avenue, just south of Liberty Plaza, Youngstown. You'll never have to pay full price again, even on prescriptions. In fact, if you find a lower price on prescriptions anywhere, Farmore will refund triple the difference. Envelopes, greeting cards, soap. Shop Farmore at 3 locations. You'll never have to pay full price again.
Introducing the chicken worth strutting about. Chi-Chi's Chicken Real, the real way of cooking real chicken. Char-grilled, fresh on a real grill. Unfried, unbattered, unbreaded. It's char-grilled with the incredible flavor of Chi-Chi's own marinade. Taste the real taste of real chicken. Chi-Chi's Chicken Monterey, Chi-Chi's famous chicken chajitas, or Chi-Chi's Chicken Magnifico.
So this is chicken.
It's the Chicken Real. Only
at the incredible Chi-Chi's.
There's a storm brewing at your All-Star Chevy dealers. Camaro C28. They named this storm Camaro, and everything about it says performance. Its lightning-sharp styling and thunder-packed fuel-injected engine makes the competition run for cover. See your All-Star Chevy dealer now and take this area by storm.
Snack a pack.
it, snack it, back it, pack it, chuck one in your jacket.
Yogurt lovers, you'll love the money-saving six-pack of Bright and Lively low-fat yogurt. So smooth, creamy, fruity, and delicious.
So stock a stack, get the knack of the handy-dandy Light and Lively six-pack.
In other news from around the country and the world, anyone who rings for a maid in any of 45 New York City hotels may not be getting service as promptly as he or she would like. Chefs, maids, desk clerks, and other hotel employees walked off the job at midnight last night, and a union spokesman says negotiations for higher wages are stalemated. No new talks are scheduled. President Reagan asked Americans today to write their lawmakers to support this tax reform plan against the special interests, which he says are trying to pick it apart. Reagan said that Washington doesn't take change very well because of lobbyists and their connections. Grieving relatives broke down in tears today at a ceremony in Brussels honoring 38 people killed in the tragic rioting at a soccer match on Wednesday. Belgian Prime Minister Wilfried Martens addressed the ceremony. He called for government and soccer authorities to put an end to the mad race toward violence. The tit-for-tat Persian Gulf War broke out again today. Iran says it fired 2 missiles at the Iraqi capital of Baghdad, and hours earlier, Iranian planes attacked a Panamanian cargo ship in the Gulf. 40 minutes after the attack on Baghdad, Iraqi planes dropped bombs on the outskirts of Tehran. Bruce Springsteen's European tour got underway at Slane Castle near Dublin, Ireland today before some 60,000 fans. A dozen arrests for drug offenses and sunstrokes suffered by about 20 fans were the only early problems. Extraordinary security precautions were in effect for the concert, including police armed with machine guns. And Don Guthrie is on hand with us to tell us what it's going to be like for the rest of the weekend, huh?
With any luck at all, we will make it through the rest of the weekend with some pretty decent weather. There is a slight chance of some showers tomorrow. The full report when the News Watch at noon continues.
Set vinyl concrete with bonding power makes concrete repairs easy and long-lasting. Available at Stambaugh and Kmart.
Rust robbing your budget? Don't toss out still usable household and yard items just because of a little rust. Stop wasting rust now with Stambaugh's Kill Rust, the rust-fighting paint that prevents and controls rust. Self-priming, quick-drying, and available in over 900 colors. Stop rust dead at your home with just one coat. It's a proven fact. Stambaugh's Kill Rust prevents and controls rust better. Available now in quarts, gallons, pints, and handy spray cans, and at all Stambaugh home improvement centers. Get some today.
For years, people have been trying to build a better burger. They tried mass production. They tried camouflage. They even tried new designs. Problem is, they never really made a better hamburger. Ritz's hamburgers are made to order, thin on the edges and tender in the middle, with the freshest ingredients and famous shoestring fries, served hot and fast when you're looking for better taste.
Well, Lee, what you think?
I think I dropped more one-liners than putts.
Hey, that's showbiz.
Yeah, but we were playing golf today. At least I can't miss with this.
Lee, you don't know anything about gasoline.
Don't have to. My car knows.
Why do more drivers rate Amoco Premium Lead-Free the highest quality gasoline? Your car knows.
Nice shot. Best shot I made all day. I wish my car knew how to make those 3-foot putts.
Amoco, your car knows.
Yes, I did say News Watch at noon, and just to prove that it is not noon, we're going to show you hopefully show you a live picture of the moon. Is Mr. Moon anywhere where we can see him tonight? There he is. All right, that's a live picture from Columbiana County tonight. A beautiful full moon going for us out there. And with any luck at all, things will stay on the clear side for the rest of tonight and at least into a portion of tomorrow anyway. Cold front is headed this direction. At the present time, it's kind of a dry front. There's not really a lot of showers along it, but some could develop. It'll move very quickly through the state and be biased by tomorrow night. The greatest chance for the showers would be when that cold front gets to the southern portion of the state by tomorrow tomorrow night and kind of stalls out and turns into a stationary front, it could provide the folks in the southern part of Ohio with some showers. High pressure behind that in the northern plain states will hopefully provide us with a partly cloudy Monday in the first part of the week as well. Here's the way our satellite picture looks right now with the clouds clearly defined by that cold front. Another clear area behind that, easily visible where the high pressure is. But over Ohio, the cloud cover right now confined generally to the southern portion of the state. Pretty thick clouds down there, but so far no precipitation falling from them. Speaking of precipitation, here's the super radar plot, the most recent one we have, which shows some showers along that cold front down along Illinois, Indiana, right down into Kentucky. And some pretty severe storms down through Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, all the way down into West Texas. Temperatures are still pretty warm even at this hour for the folks in the southeastern portion of the country, with temperatures in the 80s, 70s over most of Ohio. Temperatures for the next 5 days will be quite warm for the folks down along the southern Mississippi Valley all the way into East Texas, as their temperatures are expected to be as much as 12 degrees above normal. For us, just a few degrees above normal, and we'll average that for the next few days. 64 degrees at the airport at just about an hour ago. Right now at TV 27, we're looking at 64 degrees as well here at our current temperature. Barometer is at 29.88 and steady. Humidity 43%. Southerly winds at 6. So with all that in mind, the forecast calls for increasing cloudiness tonight with a low of about 55. For tomorrow, look for it to be partly cloudy. Widely scattered showers and thunder showers, possible thunderstorms, and high tomorrow of about 78 degrees. Looking for partly cloudy skies on Monday as well, with a high of about 80 degrees. So with any luck at all, we'll make it through the rest of the weekend without any showers.
Okay, thank you, Don. A nude biker was the talk of the town in West Palm Beach, Florida. A deputy received a call from an anonymous caller saying that a man rode by him on a motorcycle and described him as naked as a jaybird. West Palm Beach police also got calls about the biker from stunned women who said he wore only white socks, sneakers, and a helmet. Well, why not?
Mace has an exciting offer. This spring, get a 15-speed bicycle absolutely free with selected computer or electronic purchases at any Mace Electronics.
Hey, how does a seafood salad sound? Sounds good to me. Hey, sounds good to me.
The Chillers are back at Long John Silver's, featuring our better-than-ever seafood salad. Because now there's more shrimp than ever.
Sounds new. Sounds light. You'll get a every bite. Long John Silver's.
Chillers.
Sounds good to me.
Marvin, 1 Hour Photo wants to remind you where your film goes when it goes through the mail. Through rain, sleet, snow, and gloom of night. You might never see your film again. At 1 Hour Photo, we take care of your film. Put each shot individually, even correct for color and exposure, while you watch or while you shop. And Marvin, you should take better care of yourself, too. Watch your great pictures come to life at 1 Hour Photo.
Come on aboard and enjoy summer fun with a new Bayliner boat from Trigg Marine. Consider a sporty outboard with up to 125 horsepower, perfect for skiing and easy to tow. For the family, we offer this roomy 19 with stern drive power. You and your friends can enjoy fun on the water every day. We also have 19 and 21-foot cuddy cabins, perfect for sleeping overnight. All are specially priced too, so stop in soon at Trigg Marine, Route 224, Boardman, Ohio. Don't sit on shore again this summer.
Getting our share of state champions this year.
Certainly are. It was a solid win today. The Mineral Ridge girls captured the state single-A softball title today by shutting out Archbold at Ashland 4-zip. Lori Likens of the Rounds pounded out a single and a triple for 2 RBIs. Julie Croft, 15-1 this season, pitched her second shutout in as many days. Mineral Ridge compiled an 18-1 record this season. So that final, once again, Mineral Ridge 4, Archbold, the defending state champ, by the way, with a big goose egg on the scoreboard. The AA champion Maysville down Brookville 6-2. In the AAA, the final Hamilton shutting out Lakewood 1-0. In the boys high school state finals, it was Graysville Skyview with a win over Fort Laramie 9-2. The AA Bellevue triumphed over Wellston 3-2, and Fairfield is the new AAA champion. In state track, the Cardinal Mooney girls were second in the 800-meter relay and third in the 400-meter relay. At the AA meet, Kristen Best of Lakeview placed sixth in the 100-meter hurdles. For the boys in AA, champions Eric Hatch finished fourth in the mile run, and Don Larsenis of Poland was number 6 in the 2-mile run. In the AAA, fourth place in the boys' 3,200-meter run went to Mike McKenna of Fitch, and Lisa Ryan, also of Fitch, was second in the girls' shot put. In spite of home runs by Benny Ayala and Brooke Jacoby, the Indians were beaten by the Blue Jays 8-3. Toronto increased its lead in the American League East. It's now won 10 of its last 11 outings, and the Tribe is now 6 games deep in the cellar. Elsewhere in the American League today, the Red Sox, that is, blanked the Rangers 6-0. It was the Brewers 7, the Twins 2. The Yankees beat up the Mariners 8-2. Angels pounded the Tigers. The A's got by the Orioles 3-1, and the White Sox nipped the Royals 8-7. A pinch hit single by Doug Frobel drove home the winning run for the Pirates as the Bucks beat the Braves 6-3. Pittsburgh came back from a 3-0 deficit to tie it in the 5th. The winning run came in the 6th. In other National League action, the Giants trimmed the Phillies 2-1. Pete Rose, that is, came up with 2 hits today. Now needs 57 to break Ty Cobb's record as the Cincinnati club blasted the Cardinals 9-3. The Expos are on top of the Dodgers 1-0 in the 4th inning. The Cubs got by the Astros. The Padres are leading the Mets 2-0 in the 4th inning.
It's National Frigidaire Week. Save big. Save now.
Now at Fawn's Furniture and Appliance Hubbard in Hamilton's Furniture in Jefferson, Ohio.
There's a storm brewing at your all-star Chevy dealers. Camaro C28. They named this storm Camaro, and everything about it says performance. Its lightning-sharp styling and thunder-packed fuel-injected engine makes the competition run for cover. See your all-star Chevy dealer now and take this area by storm.
After 3 rounds of the PGA's Kemper Open, Larry Mize has a 4-stroke lead. Mize carded birdies on the 6th, 8th, 10th, 11th, and here on the 17th for a 3rd round total of 4 under 68, giving him a 3-day total of 10 under 206. Corey Pavin picked up 4 strokes for a 2nd place berth at 6 under 210. Jim Simons of Butler, PA, has a 217. A 5 under 67 on the 3rd round of the LPGA's tournament at Mason, Ohio, moved Alice Miller into a tie with Nancy Lopez for the lead. Both are at 8 under 208 heading into tomorrow's final round. Pat Bradley is 3rd with a 210, 2 strokes off the pace. In the USFL tonight, bad news for the Generals, even though they won 17-7. Doug Flutie is out for the season with a fractured clavicle. That happened in the 2nd quarter, but the Generals did go on to win. The Orlando Renegades destroyed the Bandits 37-7 the final, and Arizona is leading the Gunslingers 13-3 now in the 2nd quarter. At Waterford Park in the 1st, Oakdale Drone paid $20.60. In the 2nd, Gushing Oil $7.40. The Daily Devil 11-1, $74.60. The Trifectas in the 3rd, 9-1-11, paid $2,442.20. In the 5th, it was 11-2-8. In the 7th, 3-6-9, $1,119.80 the payoff. And the 9-5-2 combination in the 9th paid $621.80. At Northfield in the 1st, 3-9-1. In the 4th race, 7-4-1. The 7th, 4-6-2, $497.40. And the 10th is in 6-7-4, paid $112.50. Tom?
Thank you, John. Look for increasing cloudiness overnight, a low of 55 degrees, then partly sunny, scattered showers and thunderstorms tomorrow with a high near 80. Just a reminder, we will continue our tornado aftermath coverage tomorrow at noon. Stay tuned now for Benny Hill and Solid Gold. That is the news. Thank you for joining us, and good night.
wherever you travel.